What's going on, everybody? I just got done watching the newest episode of Street Outlaws, and so far this season, season 11, I am happy at how things are going. Last season totally sucked, and I made several videos on it, and I had so many comments agreeing with me, and they have turned everything around, and there was so much racing that went on in tonight's episode that it's going to be hard to get it in a few minutes, but we're going to try. So let's kick this video off right here. With that being out of the way, the first thing I want to talk about, and it didn't necessarily have to do with tonight's episode, but what happened to the bets? Whether they was real or fake, it did add a little bit something extra to the show that I miss. And it makes the drivers' meetings a lot more boring. And, I do personally think that it was real. And, I'm going to get blew up in the comments for that, but that is how I feel. Everybody says that this show is staged, and I do agree that it is a reality television show. But there's nothing fake about letting go of that trans brake. Those cars are running all out, all the way down through there. As far as the rest of the show goes, it is what it is. But as you can tell by the title of this video, do you think that Chief outrunning the Fireball tonight was a fluke? Do you think that he earned the number one spot? Or do you think that Ryan had an off night? 9 out of 10 times Ryan outruns Chief, and tonight he didn't. Was it just Chief's night? Is his car faster or what? If you go off of what is known, which we don't really know what is in them cars, but if you go off what is known, most everybody on the show is excited and wants the world to know when they have something new, whether it be because the sponsors gave it to them and they want to plug it for them or what, but you haven't seen Chief do anything new. Not one thing. He is still supposedly running the same engine configuration with the exception of, accessories. He don't have radiator and stuff anymore, and he is running a different set of precision turbos. But other than that, he is running the same engine and all that as he was in season 1. Think about that for a second, how much everyone has evolved and where he's at. I personally do not think that he can consistently outrun Ryan Martin. That Fireball Camaro is a number one car. I do think that there is a couple of people who is coming up with him, but I don't think Chief is that number one car anymore. Along with talking about Chief, I want to talk about when he raced Jeff Lutz tonight. Jeff Lutz almost won that race, and I don't know if Jeff laid down a good pass or Chief didn't or what, but Lutz lucked into that number 3 spot in the list shakeup, and since then, every time that he's had to defend it, there has been some type of crap that has went on. He raced Daddy Dave. Daddy Dave was out on him hard and cross center, and he hasn't actually earned that spot. He got some by runs and some good races and some good draws in the list shakeup, and that's where he landed. I do not think that is a number 3 car. I do think that Daddy Dave has a top running 2 or 3 car. Dave, Chief, and Ryan Martin is the top 3 cars, if you want my opinion, with Chief being probably at the bottom of that list. The next thing I want to talk about is Dominator. Joe Woods in the Dart. Where did he come from? He has just barely hung on to the, 9-10 spot for the past 5 or 6 seasons because he could not get it all together. Well, let me tell you something. That man's making passes now. He is rolling right down Broadway, and he is just, kicking ass and taking names, and I am proud for him. He strolled past Monza twice tonight. When they raced the first time, and Monza come back and was giving his excuses of what all happened and all, Dominator was just standing there shaking his head, just like, yeah, why don't you just say good job, whatever. And he said, well, let's do it again, and smoked his ass again. I like Monza, and I'm not down in Monza, but I was so proud to see Joe outrun him. That was awesome. I'm proud of him, and I hope that he continues to at least stay in the top 5. And personally, I think he can. If he can continue to make passes like he's made the past couple of weeks, he will stay in the top 5, no doubt. Next thing we'll talk about is Chuck and Shane. And if you have seen in the previews, their little rivalry back and forth does turn into a fight. And I'm going to say that with quotation marks because I think that is the most drama-filled stage crap that I've ever seen. Chuck jumped, and he outrun Shane. Well, they called him back out, whatever. They raced again, and, Shane didn't have a good pass, but Chuck ran off and left him. Shane's car is nowhere near the car that Chuck's is. Chuck has a top 5 car, and Shane doesn't. It's just that simple. But the rivalry between them two, whatever you want to call it, between those two just escalates supposedly into a hands-on fight. And, you see Shane pop off and get in Chuck's face and yada yada, blah, blah, blah. And then when it all comes down, you see Chuck kind of punch some kind of something at Shane up against his car. And after he does it, it's like a bad delay, you see Shane real dramatically jump and fall on his hood, and this is in the previews, and it was so poorly staged that it's almost a joke. So next time you watch it or watch next week's or whatever, the previews, look and you will see what I'm talking about. It is awful. It is sad. It is just, come on, guys. That's all I can say. The next one that I want to talk about, and that would be Reaper and Sean. And I am so conflicted in that race that I honestly can't believe that's what happened. And the reason being is because it looked like Sean made a decent pass. And it's hard to tell with camera angles and all. They can hide a lot of stuff. But if Sean did make the pass I think he made, either Reaper made one hell of a pass or that car isn't as fast as I thought it was on the street. And like I just said, with camera angles and all that, they can do some trickery with that sort of thing. But when he debuted that car on that list, when he raced Farm Truck, that car was the fastest car that show had ever seen, no doubt. And then, they supposedly raced early on in the night. Cars wouldn't turned up as much, but I just cannot believe that Reaper outrun him in that car. I'm not saying that car of Reaper's isn't capable of being fast. I'm just saying that I can't believe he outrun Sean in it tonight. Blew my mind. Didn't see it coming. That was just mind-blowing to me. With that being said, do you think that was a fluke? And I want to know in the comments, this is a 2-part question. Do you think Reaper is that fast? And the second part is, do you think Sean is that slow? I'm so conflicted on it because, I don't know if it's just I've had it, all from the beginning, or it was just one of them things. But, that is the first time that Sean has been off the list, not voluntarily. That is the first time ever he has been kicked off the list. And it was by a Reaper. That's like pouring salt into a wound, I don't get it. I don't know what happened, Maybe somebody can let me know in the comments below what it really was. But, there wasn't a whole lot other stuff happened. There was a few races here and there, but, Monza can't get his car together, and he eventually ends up wrecking it. But tonight's episode was a good episode. To me, probably the best episode in the past 3 or 4 seasons, The daily driving thing that went on with Farm Truck and them, I don't get into that, but it is better than some of the crap that they've done over the years to waste time to get to the race night. And it seems like there is a lot more racing that goes on race night now than there has been in the past couple of seasons. But either way, they did change what they needed to change, and it is a better season, and they can make the show go a couple of more seasons by what they've done. But I'm going to cut this video off right here. I am still giving away the $500. All I got to do is get to 50,000 subscribers. If you are already subscribed, go back, hit the bell, because YouTube changed some stuff in their system, and if you had hit the bell in the past, go back and make sure it is still highlighted, because it probably has went away, and I need you to hit it again. My email address is across the screen along with my P.O. box, so anything you want me to know or anything you want me to have, send it to that P.O. box or send it to that email address, and it will get opened on camera. And one last thing before I go, any clips that is in this video was donated or given or had permission to use by Tom80 Videos. If you have not watched any of his videos, go check them out. They are a lot of the no prep scene and that sort of racing, a lot of track racing, but it does involve a lot of the big name guys. He has done some fantastic work, and I honestly think that his channel is going to blow up a lot bigger than what it is right now very quick. He's got the views, he just got to get the subscribers up there. If the people that watch the videos would subscribe, they would get to see what type of good quality videos he is putting out. But that being said, I'm going to cut this off right here, and thanks for watching. Godspeed. I will see you in the next video.